Hey there guys, what is going on? Gale right here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we're going to be going into the Record Buster stage again. And I know you're all wondering, well Gale, you already got a good score last time round. Why are you doing this video? Well, first and foremost, I did get a better score. As you guys can see, I went from 1.72 billion in the last video to 1.98 billion with the help of somebody in the comments, and I further improved that to 2.2 billion. So today's video is going to be me going over that run in particular first and foremost. And then the second thing a lot of people asked me for was my skill flow. So what I've done is I've created two teams, because I know not everybody has the units that I do, because especially as two of those units are very recent units that came back to back. Not many people have them at +5, so I don't want to assume that everybody has these units. So I've run on another team that got me actually the 1.98 billion score team. So I'm gonna run two teams. I'm gonna show you guys the skill flows, the the armor pieces that I've run on both of them, and just give you guys an idea on exactly how the runs were done. Now of course, if you guys want to enjoy this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course comment down below how did you guys fare in Record Buster. Let me know if you guys feel like you could improve in any shape or form. Did you guys manage to improve since the last time? Maybe all that jazz. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now the team I got my 2.2 billion score with is this team. This is a team you're actually seeing a lot of top players run. I mean, if we were to go over to all players list, you can see what these guys are running. These guys are running a very similar team, if not the exact same team, outside of some changes to the assist slots. Now one thing to note, and this is something that's my issue, is when I tried running this sort of a setup where basically I have Lazar in the front, Lily second, I was still dying a lot, so I decided to switch them around so that I could get Lazar's STR and magic down. Now, if there are any veteran players watching this video, let me know what your skill flows are, because I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what you guys are doing different in comparison to me. I do believe some of it is also down to the assists probably, right? So that is also another factor in my personal opinion. But again, I have no idea what they're doing differently that's making them succeed, whereas I'm obviously failing tremendously with this sort of a team. But yeah, the one big issue that I have in comparison to them, and the reason why I'm not able to get the amazing score of 2.55 billion, is down to the assists. I don't have the adult police as well as the Argonaut assist to be able to get that extra bit of damage. I just don't unfortunately have that. I have the other 4 assists. I'm missing those 2 assists in particular, and instead I'm having to run some other units. As a result, my skill flow is also going to be a bit different in comparison to them. The skill flow that I've done is this. Now you guys can take a screenshot of this. I'm going to be going into each and every single one of them as well to show you guys exactly what skill flows they have, but this is the skill flow that I'm going with these guys. Obviously for Lily, I've gone with the second skill first in order to get that water res down, so that we have the ability to effectively get more damage out of Wine. And then of course with Lazar, on when he comes in, I'm going with the third skill, which gives me the fast STR heal, light attack damage, P-res, and M-res boost, which obviously goes away after turn 4 because of Riveria's debuff, where she removes all of our buffs. And on top of that, we get the STR magic and penetration rate minus 40%, which is tremendous because we can extend that with the aid of, well, first and foremost, Fianna when she's on the field. And then once Wine comes in, she will help extend those buffs as well. Now, with the rest of the team, the main idea is to ensure that we're getting as many attacks off as possible. This is the quintessential quad DPS setup. In the second half of the video, we will be looking at a 3 DPS setup with 1 support. Wine is sort of like DPS slash support. I would like to call her like a sub DPS unit effectively, where she's able to effectively do DPS damage, but she's also there to support the team effectively, right? And that's the idea of it. Whereas the other 3, Belle, Finn, and Fianna, are all there to primarily deal a lot of damage and ensure that we're dealing a lot of damage. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the idea here. Now, one of the things that you might notice here that's a little bit different, and one thing that I need to adjust here, is I need to give Finn his essay on turn 15. I forgot to save the latest skill flow where I did essay with Finn in the last turn. That was one thing that I completely forgot. and that is Finn will SA on turns 4 and turn 8, and that is primarily to get his additional actions of where he can give us the extra strength, magic, endurance, agility, dexterity boost, but more importantly, he'll give us that extra SA gauge charge of 66% for 2 turns on all allies. That is going to be extremely key in making sure we can get a lot of special arts off throughout the fight. That is the main idea, and we're doing it on turn 4, we're doing it on turn 8 in particular. The rest of it is very simple and very straightforward. So now what we're gonna do is, before we get into the fight, I'm gonna go through one iteration of the fight and then we'll go on to the second team. I'm gonna show you guys the equipment that they have. I've got Lily, her little ballista Robin, as well as the revolving amulet. Obviously the armor piece is primarily going to be the revolving amulet. On the other 3 DPS units, I've gone for glorious anklets. You could in theory go for maybe, and this is just a maybe, I don't know what top players use. I'm assuming they use the this equipment piece, but you could in theory potentially start using Intario the Justice, which allows you to basically get an extra dexterity and god rate, but your agility decreases, which in turn could lead to you getting less crits, penetration rates, and counter rates. But in my personal opinion, if it means you survive, you get a little bit more dexterity, so it can kind of counteract that, you might want to run this. There is a possibility. I don't know what top players use. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys use? I'm very curious to see if you all use, you know, that piece basically. But yeah, I use glorious anklets on all of my DPS units. Even Wine has that as well. Wine has a sleep glorious anklet, and then of course Lazar has a revolving amulet. Now the glorious anklet I've gone for is sleep res. Obviously Riveria does sleep and slow. Slow can be kind of ignored. You're wanting to focus primarily on avoiding the sleep effectively, right? You don't want your units to go to sleep because they won't wake up for a while, or you'll have to get hit in order to wake up and you can't use attacks. So that's a bit of an issue, right? In terms of memorias, these are the memorias I've used: Moondrop, Miracle, Rival, and Love Triangles. Very good setup. Can't really take advantage of Rival in all honesty. I wish they had given us turn 6 to 15 in all honesty. I don't know why they didn't. Well, I know why they didn't, but it would have been nicer because that's where I actually use a lot of my special arts. But it is what it is. It's still there. It helps us out in dealing a lot more damage, so we're gonna take it in all honesty. So there you go. There's the setup. Of course, like I said, I know not a lot of players have this sort of setup, so we will be looking at a second team. I will be making chapters for this video, so you guys can see team 1 and team 2, so you guys can pick your poison basically in that regards. All right, so let's go into the fight. You guys will actually see the skill flow. I'm gonna let it run on its own. I'm not gonna really do much. I'll explain exactly what's happening in each situation as well when I get the opportunity to, but I'm gonna make sure that you guys have an eye out. Now, one thing I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna move my camera to the bottom, and I'll show you guys the skill flow again at the end of the video, because I realized that my face was probably covering it. But I'll move to the bottom right of the video so that you guys can see the SA gate charge and you guys can see the attacks on the left hand side, so it's pretty clear in that regards. Okay, so now that you guys are seeing on your screens, the first thing we do is obviously we do all the setup stuff. We just get everything set up, we make sure things are going and get it running. Now, one issue I've had with this team as well, by the way, and this is something that I've realized was a major issue, was MP. I was struggling with MP tremendously with this team initially, and I realized that I was not going to be able to clear it efficiently enough, and I would probably get like 100 million score less, not a billion score less, 100 million, 150 million score less, because for a turn in particular, even though I have Ollie who's able to MP regen, I wouldn't be able to necessarily get the same amount of damage because I've obviously run out of MP at a certain point, especially because a lot of these units, you know, when they have like you know, attacks that are 182 MP or buffs that are 182 MP, it really doesn't help. In particular, Fiona was a big culprit of that. Finn and Belle were okay, but Fiona was struggling tremendously. So in my personal opinion, what you need to do in this sort of situation, and this is where again it's a little bit more whale territory, I wouldn't say whale territory, but this is something that as a long-term player you're fine with, but as a newer player you're struggling with it, and that's you need to increase their CP level. Their CP level gives MP at certain levels, and then of course beyond level 35, at level 37 and 39 you get an extra 10 MP, and if you add that across all three characters you get 30 MP on top of whatever you can get for your assists as well. So I had to spend some time actually investing CP levels into units like Fianna and Al-Kitien in order to basically get an extra like 60 MP in order to make sure that I wasn't struggling with MP whatsoever. So that's also something to bear in mind, is that this team is MP hungry and there's no way to get MP. With obviously the second team I'm going to show you, it's all good. You don't have to worry about MP too much, but with this team in particular there's a struggle with MP for sure. It's one of those wishes that I had, that one of these units would actually just give MP. I wished Wine gave MP. Honestly, if Wine had like MP regen for three turns or 4 turns instead of HP regen, I think it would have been so much better, but alas, that's not how it works. So yeah, we're gonna continue on with the attacks now. We're gonna keep it going, let it roll. I'm very curious to see if I manage to get a slightly better score or slightly worse score, purely because of criticals and penetrations. That always happens, where that, you know, small things will change. But yeah, now that Wine is in, we'll start using her skill. Wine will primarily use Painful Present as well as Snow Shoveling Gift, but because Riveria does give herself a magic boost, you can use Candy Cane Impact to your benefit. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for sure when you're attacking Riveria with Wine. Like I said, I know not a lot of people might have Wine, even though I suggested people should summon for Wine. Wine and Hestia were like the best units from those banners, in all honesty. But yeah, Wine was a great option, and I understand if people skip those banners because it was so hard to get those units right. It's a it was very tricky. It was a very tricky banner, and it came out at a pretty poor time as well, considering we had the Hero Festa units right after them, right? It was really poor timing. But yeah, so yeah, there we use Finn's essay. Now the thing is, right, a lot of people might have recognized this, and that is of course one of the big things with this team is that you run a little bit of a risk, obviously, because of course you don't have any physical res buffer or magic res buffer, so they're going to take a little bit of damage there, like you guys saw there. You do tend to take a little bit of damage there, but in all honesty, you can still get away with it, to be quite honest. You still can get away with it, and we're gonna buff everybody up. We're taking a little bit of damage there, but hopefully with Wine's attack and stuff, we'll be fine. Wine came really close to dying there, to be honest. That was a very close KO, but we're fine, I think. Yeah, we're a-okay. Getting that slow on Wine wasn't really helpful, but it is what it is. But now we can obviously get back into the flow of things from here on out. And one of the things, like I said, that we managed to take advantage of is Finn's essay. Giving us that essay gate charge is tremendous. It's a very helpful thing, and it just helps the rest of the team, you know, keep their uptimes high. And also on top of that, we also get a very important thing as well, which is the minus 60% P-res from Finn. It's really helpful for sure. And then of course we can extend it with the units like Fianna and Wine, of course, which helps out tremendously, of course. So there we go. We're just getting the attacks off. We're getting counters off now as well, because we're in that phase where, well, one, we don't have the P-res and M-res from Lazar anymore, but also on top of that, we haven't debuffed her to an extent where she's unable to deal damage to us whatsoever, right? So that's another thing that helps us a lot, because counters are important at the end of the day. You're seeing the damage that we can get from like 3 of the characters' counters. So yeah, it's very important, because yeah, like each character, obviously we didn't get anything there, but when we did get the counters off, each character was doing about 250k basically per counter, and if you add times that by 4, that is basically 800 to 1,000,000 damage in just one hit, basically, right? In theory, it's one hit, so that's very important. So now we go back and use another special odds from Finn. Obviously we're using Candy Cane Impact on Wine as well. We haven't gotten slowed this time, so we are going to take a little bit of a hit with the special arts that's going to be coming up from Riveria in just a second here, because of course she will launch one tremendously and she will have her buff here, but we should be fine in theory. We should be fine in theory. All right, beautiful. We're fine in theory. We're fine in theory and actuality. Okay, so now we go back in and just continue attacking normally. There's nothing much different here. We get everybody's buffs back up and everything. And obviously, you might be wondering, well, Gale, when are you going to launch Wine Special Arts? It's very, very important, right? Well, this turn is when we're going to launch it. And this is where I wish I could get a triple super off because, of course, it's turn 10. It's a perfect opportunity to take advantage of the Memoria as well. So, in theory, it wouldn't be a bad idea to potentially use maybe like say Fianna's ability or Fianna's special arts here or something, right? But the thing is, right, I was thinking about it and I don't know why I felt like it wouldn't necessarily work, and I don't know, it just was something that I felt wasn't unnecessarily something I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, let's try it out. I don't know why I was gonna give a reason, but then I realized I don't have a particular reason apart from maybe increasing Bell's damage realistically, right? Because of course the thing is, when you're doing multiple supers at the same time, you can get effectively more damage from that unit. So that's what I was thinking, but let's give it a shot, see how different it is. Maybe there might be something a little bit different we can do here. Maybe it's better. Who knows? All right, because it doesn't really make a difference in if we use Bell's special arts in turn 10 or turn 11 or turn 12. So let's see, we do this, we'll do Holy Thrust, and then let's attack normally. All right, let's see. All right, I could have gone for Candy Cane Impact there as well. I've realized now. I just realized I could have gone for Candy Cane Impact, but it is what it is. All right, now that she's on her agenda, we will go for the special arts here and we'll continue attacking normally with the other guys. All right, but yeah, 3.7 million there, of course. Really good damage, of course, from my boy Bell. Let's see how this goes. This is obviously something a little bit different. Of course, you guys managed to see originally what my skill flow was, so that's exactly what I'm gonna maintain, to be quite honest. The only thing I would change is maybe one or two things, but like I said, it's very, very minor changes that I have to make. Very, very minor changes realistically. Okay, so now we can continue attacking normally. We're able to get a lot of special arts gauge as well, which is really, really helpful, and we will be able to get a double super off on turn 15. But yeah, you guys can see the amount of damage we're dealing with the counters. Counters are very, very important. It's very, very important to get counters. Frankly speaking, it's super, super important. All right, there we go. We've got a double super ready. It's going to be nice, and we're going to deal a lot of damage on turn 15. But yeah, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I wish we had a Memoria that went from like turn 11 to turn 15, because a lot of our damage comes from those specific turns, to be quite honest. So that's something to note in all honesty. But there we go. We've dealt a lot of damage there, 4.4 million with critical penetration. And this is that. See, when I'm talking about the extra damage you get from double supering, that's what I mean. Earlier on, when we did the single Bell super, it was 3.7 million. This was 4.4 million. It was an increase of over 500,000, 600,000 even, I would say. It's a huge difference. 700,000 actually. My maths is failing me. 700,000. It's a huge difference. It does make a difference. So that's something to bear in mind, of course. So let's see if we got a higher score. No, we missed that. We were off by 100 million. So there you go. There are things you can improve with this team and stuff like that. Also, I realized why I didn't use Candy Cane, and it was in order to basically ensure that I had the additional effects from Candy Cane Impact, the additional actions basically of getting the status debuffs and the HP heals. That was the main reason why we went with it. Either way, there's the team, there's the skill flow order. You guys can see it on your screens right now in much better fashion. Going to stick with this one, and this one was what got me the 2.2 billion. Obviously in the video itself you're going to see slight differences, but this is exactly what it is. If you want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. This is team 1, and this is how I got my highest score. Now let's move on to my second team, the second team that I have. Now this team, I have made some changes slightly here and there, and I'm gonna have to adjust it, but this is the team I took for my 1.98 billion score team. Basically, we have the 3rd anniversary Haruhime, so 4th anniversary Haruhime, as our first sacrificial unit. You can use Line or somebody else in this spot, but I've gone with this Haruhime because she gives us that critical and penetration rate and counter rate up for 30% for 2 turns at the start of the fight, which is helpful. Super nice. And then we have Wine as our second sacrificial unit in order to just get this bonus, the minus 40% P-res and damage received single target attack 30% boost, which is really nice. Now, the big unit difference here is, of course, we're taking Haruhime as a support unit and we're running only 3 DPS options. Now, I have made some changes to the skill flow. If we were to look at it, this is the skill flow I'm running right now, and of course you guys can see there are some differences, not many to be honest, and primarily it's just down to Haruhime obviously being a part of the team and being able to provide for the team so much. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if we are able to get a turn 10 triple super. We'll have to wait and see though. I've just left it like this for now so that you guys can see exactly how it operates, because this is I made some slight changes and I don't know how it'll work, but once we get into the fight we'll be able to see for ourselves if or not we can do that turn 10 super. For now I've left it the same as it was before. Haruhime turn 10 super or special arts, and then Fianna and Belle will special arts at turn 11. That being said, things may change in a second. So there we go. I'm gonna just quickly change some things. I'm gonna give Haruhime and Wine the revolving anklet, and we will switch around. We will also switch around the glorious anklet and give it to Haruhime because she'll be using it for the sleep res. Okay, and yeah, one more thing as well, all my glorious anklets are maxed out. They've been all maxed out in order to make sure I'm protected the most if possible. You know, you got to make sure your protection is as high as possible. But yeah, in terms of the other armor pieces, they're exact same. The weapons, of course, for Haruhime, I've given Echoes of East, so that's the only thing of worth noting. All right, let's get into the fight and let's see what we're gonna deal with. So like I said, for the most part it's going to stay the same. There shouldn't be any differences. Primarily, like I said, on turns 4 and 8 we'll have the Fin super special arts. The only changes we'll have to see is on turn 10, of course, because Haruhime gives a lot of you know, boost to the special arts gauge. So let's have a look see and figure out for ourselves how it exactly works and how it'll operate for sure. All right, so there we go. We bring in Wine. We're going to continue on attacking normally. I think for now it's going to stay the same. We're going to see how the score is going to be at the end. This is the reason why we're doing it. But yeah, hopefully this team also helps a lot of players, because I know a lot more players might have this new Haruhime, or even if they don't have this Haruhime, they might have the older Haruhime, the Foxy Princess Haruhime. I know some people were asking about whether we could get this Haruhime from the reroll gacha. Frankly speaking, I have no idea. I don't know if anybody's been able to ever, you know, actually look into the reroll gacha and see when it actually updates, because I have no freaking idea when it updates, to be honest. Because I always thought that the best way to update it is whenever we get the ticket gacha update, but a lot of people haven't been able to get the light Haruhime. In all honesty, I have no idea. So getting Foxy Princess Haruhime isn't a bad idea, because she's still actually kind of usable to this day as a great option, because the future versions of her original Foxy Princess iteration are all either time limited or they're extremely hard to get because they're not in the reroll gacha, and you have to hope for the best and hope you get them from the ticket gacha or the free gacha. So that's another thing to note. It's very tricky. It's very tricky, and it's a very unfortunate situation. I really wish they would just add them to the reroll gacha the moment they're in the ticket gacha, and with a unit like Haruhime, who's been in the, you know, gacha for so long, the ticket gacha since September, I don't know why she's not in the reroll gacha. All right, so we're gonna continue attacking. The main thing with Haruhime here now we're doing is we're using Haruhime as sort of MP heal for MP heal purposes, as well as extending the debuffs and buffs. Basically, that's what we're using Haruhime for primarily. So you're gonna see Haruhime use Yaozu and Migiri primarily. Obviously we used Yaozu that turn to get back some MP, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of prefer this team a little bit more. It's more consistent, but obviously it doesn't get the same amount of score. A lot more players will probably find that the other team will score higher, but this team might be more consistent for you, and obviously it runs into less risks because of course of the heals, the P-res, the M-res. this team does so much. It does so much, right? So that's another reason why a lot of players may prefer this team and just want to run with this team and get a good score and, you know, hightail it out of there. Because at the end of the day, I will say this as well. Even though I've obviously gotten into the top 50, I'm in no position to say this anymore, because once upon a time ago, I was this kind of a person. But I would say try and at least get top 2,500, top 1,000, because it's very easy to do it, in all honesty. I'm not even joking. It's not really that challenging at all. As long as you have a cohesive team and know how Record Buster mechanics work, you should be fine. And I've always said it, when it comes to Record Buster, all you need to do is make sure your units work together. They need to blend together. They need to flow together. They need to do something for the team. You know what I mean? So this team, of course, you can see it's all about the light units, right? Even when we had Wine on the team, it was all about the light units. Wine was there because she's capable of dealing damage as well, but she's not going to be a main DPS unit. She's a sub DPS unit at that point, right? So that's the idea. Obviously, I had Lily on the field to help deal extra damage and stuff, right? But again, that's not the main purpose you're using these units, because there's nobody else supporting Wine. That's the idea there, right? So yeah, that's basically what I mean by make sure your teams are cohesive, and then you can go from there. Getting 400, 500 million is the bare minimum you can do, quite honestly speaking. If you're playing difficulty 7, maybe difficulty 6 as well, you could get it, but yeah, diff 7 is where you need to be. All right, let's keep going. Enough rambling. This video is going to be far too long otherwise, but yes, this is something that I would say is something you need to be wary of. Now, of course, the thing about this team as well, that is at a disadvantage actually in comparison to the other team, is that, well, this team isn't, of course, it doesn't have the likes of Wine in order to remove those magic buffs that the opponents have. So we're going to be taking a little bit of damage here, but of course, we do have the advantage of having a unit like Haruhime, who's capable of you know, healing us back up quite tremendously. We have her physical res, P-res and stuff like that, so we have a lot of things that helps us out tremendously here. All right, let's see if we can get the turn 10 super. I don't think we can. No, we can't. Okay, so this is where again you run into an issue where it just doesn't work out, and it really doesn't work out, unfortunately. And we just have to rely on the fact that you have to hit super special arts on turn 11, unfortunately. I know I've been also saying super a lot in this video, but you guys have to just deal with it. I've got Dokkan on my mind right now. And that's all I've got. There is a chance, however, I will say, because of Haruhime, we might be able to get a triple super off, which would be very nice, in all honesty. It would be tremendous even if we could get a triple super off, but we'll have to just wait and see. If that happens, it will be fantastic. If not, it's okay. But yeah, 4.6 million there with the critical and penetration. It's one of the reasons why I think we didn't get that high of a score last time around, is because we didn't do that double super with a bell. It does make a difference. It makes a huge difference even, I would say. So that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, let's see. Magic up. Okay, we're gonna see a lot of damage being dealt here now, but we'll be fine, I think. I'm very curious to see if we can actually get more a triple super off on turn 15. I doubt it. I don't think we're gonna have the I don't think we'll have the legs for it. I think we'll just be shy. But it'll be fine. But that's okay. It's okay. All right, let's see. How much are we gonna be able to do here? Very nice, good heals. But yeah, now we can just use Yaozu. And yeah, even if we get a double super, I'm very curious to see what the end damage will be, because yeah, like I said, Haruhime is not there to deal damage. She's just there to support the team, and wow, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Do I have Kokono still going? Yeah, okay. Hopefully she doesn't attack, please. Okay, there we go. We can get the heals back up. Because Finn was not living a good life. He was almost dead. I think he had 45 HP. I was a bit scared there. But yeah. We'll be able to get the double super off. Like I said, we're just gonna miss out on it. It was very close, but we just missed out on it. But it's fine. It's honestly a-okay. Wow, that's a lot of attacks there. Bell almost died as well. Jeez. That's where I would say using Sakuna a second time on turn 13 is not a bad idea. But it's something that I personally just ignored, and I went for just dealing more damage there. It's a little bit of a risk. Again, RNG. Gotta pray that you don't get on the bad side of the RNG, but if it works, it works. Also, I forgot to readjust Finn to get to super on this turn as well. But there you guys go. Again, that, like I said, Finn should special arts. I completely forgot to readjust it. But yeah, that's one thing I would say you need to make sure of. Okay, you need to chill. Why? But that being said, though, obviously because we do have Bell's special arts go off and whatnot, he is able to help units survive. But yeah, 1.9 billion. I obviously got a little bit of a better score there before, 1.98 billion, but it's a very close score. It doesn't really matter. It's a difference of about 500 million. 500 million, 50 million, I should say 50 million. But yeah, there you guys go. There's the score. But yeah, as you guys can see, the other team is just so much more superior. We're getting a difference of 200 million score there, which is a significant amount. It is a significant amount, and it's gotten me into the top 50, top 30 even, I should say. But there you guys go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go into the team again to show you guys the skill flow for this team. Like I said, the only adjustment I would make here is Finn should special arts on turn 15. But yeah, this is this team's skill flow chart. Hopefully I could help you guys in some way, shape, or form. I understand that many players may not have these units, specifically that Haruhime. I hopefully gave you guys some other suggestions like the Line and stuff. For example, I'll give you guys some other suggestions. Like for example, this Line, where is she? This Line is also not a bad option to put in that slot. Instead of Wine, if you want to run maybe, say for example, Helga from the 5th anniversary, Mina from the 5th anniversary is there. You could run maybe another option like not her, she gives water res, but maybe like the Bell from the 4th anniversary. Any unit that gives P res down or a single target up. Actually, you know what, I have a unit, a unit that I actually mentioned you probably should summon for, because she's actually pretty decent in terms of being a great sacrificial unit and support unit. If I can find her, if I go Thunder, is actually this unit right here. This Daphne is not a bad option. She's actually capable of doing the same thing that Wine does. She gives that minus 40% P-res and damage received attack type single target plus 30%. So not a bad option. She's also not time limited. If you manage to get her from the rerun that we had or from a free ticket, she's an option for sure. But yeah, there you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, it's a video that some people asked for, so here it is. Hopefully I could help you guys, and in some way, shape, or form I managed to give you guys two different teams. One that's consistent and helps you survive, the other one a little bit more damage dealing, a little bit more stronger, capable of getting higher scores. So there you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, appreciate all of you for watching the videos. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye everybody.